If you're a Libra, tell me, are you a good dater? I feel like you are, and if you're not, you're tripping. You're tripping. Because you have every characteristic to make you truly a Hall of Famer when it comes to dating. So stop playing yourself, okay? And start playing other people. I'm just kidding. What's good, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have a video about love, which y'all love. I swear to God, I don't know what it is. I think it's because everyone generally, more than anything, wants to find love in this world. Even if you're not admitting it, I think that's what a lot of people want, which is why a lot of dating and love content does the best, probably, in my opinion. And not to say that love is always the most important thing for everyone, but I do think at a certain point in your life, you can't help but think that, like, I'll only be happy if I find love, which I don't think is the truth. Not to get all cheesy, but it's about finding the love within. That's when you really do find your soulmate. It's the truth, truly. Because when you are loving on yourself, you're nourishing yourself, you're finding yourself again, right? You're nurturing your inner child. That is when you become the most authentic. So whoever you find, whoever is on your vibration at that time, when you have really figured out who you are, that is going to be the type of love that is sustainable, a real type of love. Whereas when you're unhealed, when you haven't dealt with your trauma or your shadow self or your ego, no matter what, you're going to find people that are on your level, right? So if you're over here, you're going to keep finding people that are meeting you where you're at, and they're not good people, or they're toxic, or they're not good for you, you know? But anyway, I started yapping before I even got into what the video's about, but you can tell from the title of this video, this is the Zodiac signs that have the easiest time finding love and why. So I actually picked 4 signs, and I accidentally actually picked one from every element, and this was not on purpose at all. Like, after I came up with the 4th sign, I was like, oh shit, I have one from every element. So all elements are gonna be getting the love, but I also do wanna say before I start, if your sign isn't here, that doesn't mean that you're hard to love, that nobody wants to date you, none of those things. I always have to make these kind of, you know, disclaimers, because people always find something to be mad at these days. Me included, you know what I mean? Take out your rage, just not on me. And I just feel like I just have to say that because, first of all, you could very well have some of these signs in your chart and you don't even know it yet. But even besides that, if your sign isn't here, that doesn't mean that you're not good at dating and you're not good at finding love. It may just mean that you navigate it in a way that is maybe a little bit more difficult, or maybe you just have more rules. Like, a lot can go into it when it comes to dating and how good you are at dating. And there are plenty of people that are really good at dating and really good at finding love, but like I said, they're relationship hoppers. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right type of love that they're always finding, you know? So there's always these nuances that I want you guys to be aware of, you know? But anyway, let's talk about the 4 signs that have the easiest time finding love. Okay, first up we have Libra. No one is shocked to find Libra here, and if you are, maybe it's your first time learning about astrology, but Libra is the ultimate flirt. Libra is so good at getting along with people and making people feel seen, and I think you talk about a lot of people's horror stories, right? When it comes to like first dates and stuff, or how bad it was. Usually they say they wouldn't stop talking about themselves. And maybe actually men, if you're a straight man watching, you don't get this, because I think women in general like to people please. And I think we should stop as women. But I think a lot of times when I hear about women going on really bad first dates, the top reason is that they were never asked that many questions about themselves, right? The other person was just talking about themselves the whole time. So when you think of Libra, right? Libra is the sign that is so good at talking about you, understanding you, asking questions about you. They're ruled by the 7th house of relationships and partnerships. So they're really good at making you feel seen and wanting to understand you so they can be the best version of themselves for you, because it's the truth, Libra. And at a certain point when you heal, you'll do that less often, or you'll find people that, you know, genuinely pique your interest and you want to be able to take on some of their personality traits because you enjoy it, and they'll find that balance within you as well, right? But when Libra is operating at their lowest vibration, they're taking on the personality traits of anyone that they're dating, because they're just so good at asking questions and wanting to please you. It always comes back to wanting to please others. Libra is a people pleaser. And I think people pleaser is such a, you know, negative, obviously. Like when you think of a people pleaser, it's not a positive thing, right? You're just a people pleaser. But there is also a positive side to that trait that Libra has, which is being good at pleasing people. You know what I mean? And when you are someone that is really good at dating and it's really easy for you to find love, it's because genuinely you're easy to get along with. You're good at pleasing people, and it makes sense. They're ruled by Venus, the planet of love. And a lot of times, you know, there are a couple of signs here that are really good relationship hoppers. Libra is one of them. And again, like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, you know, just because someone's on this list doesn't mean they don't have toxic traits when it comes to easily finding love, right? And for Libras, just because you're so good at finding people, because you're really usually attractive and you are really good at connecting with anybody of any background, right? So these traits make you really easy to love, right? So it's like you always have this, you know, endless list of people that are interested in you, Libra. Like Libra, Libra and Leo truly created the term having a roster, you know, because they always have someone, they always have a backup, and their backup has a backup, and anyone and everyone usually is ready to, you know, be with that Libra. Because like I said, Libras are just so charming like that, right? So I think when it comes to Libra and their relationship with dating, they have such an easy time doing it, right? It's not a daunting task for Libra to be back in the dating scene or to be in a relationship. Like that is genuinely where they thrive. And they have the most fun when they are around people that they find attractive, right? Libra feels like they can put it on, and not in a fake way even. Like they just feel like they're excited to be part of this conversation, right? They're not overthinking about what should I say? How should I come off? They genuinely get along with people so easily. So of course they're gonna have the best time dating because they're not in their head. So let me know if you're a Libra, tell me, are you a good dater? I feel like you are, and if you're not, you're tripping. You're tripping. Because you have every characteristic to make you truly a Hall of Famer when it comes to dating. So stop playing yourself, okay? And start playing other people. I'm just kidding. Okay, next I chose Cancer. Okay, when I think of Cancer, I think of the ultimate wifey material, hubby material, girlfriend material. Truly, when it comes to men and women, like genuinely, I just feel like Cancer placements, even if they're not showing those traits, it's always in the back of their mind of like, who do I want to be for my partner? How do I want to show up in a relationship? And obviously the more mature you get, Cancer, and the more you heal yourself, that's when you'll start asking those questions, because you want to be the best wife. You want to be the best husband. You want to be the best partner for your partner, because relationship security is something that's so important to Cancer. And if something messes with that, or if they feel like they're not being the best version of themselves for their partner, it makes them sick. It makes them sick to their stomach. Also, Cancers in general, they thrive when they are taking care of people. Another reason why they have such an easy time finding love, right? Really easy people to love because, again, they show that they care, right? And when you are dating, I think a lot of people forget, like people that aren't good at dating maybe, or they see their friends that are really good at dating. They're like, why can't I be good at that? Or why can't I enjoy that? Or like, why can't I be a relationship type of person? A lot of it is about being good with other people. You know what I mean? A lot of people want to just feel wanted, right? They want to feel like you care and you're asking them questions, and you'll cook soup for them, like Cancer. You know what I mean? If they're sick. With Libra, it was you'll ask them questions to learn more about themselves and their life and their hobbies, right? So I think a lot of times if you want to be a good dater, you should be good at making other people feel special. Obviously, it's about you being authentic, but also being interested in other people's stories. And I think a lot of times, if you get in your head when it comes to dating, you're already putting too much pressure on yourself from the jump. You shouldn't be going on dates thinking, okay, this is gonna be my husband, this is gonna be my wife. Go in there thinking, do I even like them as a friend? You know what I mean? Like, let's start there, because we put so much emphasis on whether they're gonna like me, and I'm nervous because what if they don't like me? First of all, relax. Second of all, you need to see if you like them at all. And liking them starts with friendship, because when you are putting that much emphasis on them being a good partner upon first meeting them, you can't help but like start judging yourself, right? Being like, am I good enough for them? Am I good enough for them? Where when you think about friendships, it's the truth. a lot of times going into new friendships is so much easier than relationships, because with friendships, it's like, do we even like each other? Because if we like each other, we're going to be friends, right? It's easy to get into new friendships like that, right? But when it comes to dating, you can't help but like feel like it's a little bit more of a sensitive topic. You feel more sensitive about it, and you feel more sensitive about the rejection, right? That's why a lot of people have a hard time maybe dating, right? So I think a good tip for those people is to remember that you need to worry about whether you like them even platonically as a friend. Like, chat with them, see if they get your sense of humor. You know what I mean? So I think that is just a random tip that I have for people when it comes to dating. To me, Cancer is such a social water sign, and they're very upfront about their feelings. You know, unlike, I would say, Scorpio and even Pisces, because Pisces is, you know, teetering the line between like real and fantasy, and they can easily isolate themselves if they feel like their feelings are a little too much, right? Pisces does that, and we already know Scorpio has such a hard time opening up because we have the biggest trust issues, right? And then you have Cancer, cardinal water sign, that really can't help but put all their cards out on the table when it comes to love, right? Because they're leading with their emotions, and they're not ashamed by their big emotions. So I think that's why they have an easier time dating, because they don't feel the need to hide anything in case you don't like it, right? And when you're leading with that energy, it's easy for you to get to know people, right? And people also love Cancer's energy, because Cancers, when they're dating you, when they're about you, you feel like you have, you know, someone that truly is your ride or die #1 fan, right? They openly express it. And when someone is openly expressing their love for you without feeling like they're doing too much, that's someone that has an easy time finding love, because they're being honest with themselves when it comes to what they want and who they love, right? Even when it comes to the laws of the universe, you know, you have to be bold when it comes to asking for what you want, right? You can't be overthinking about whether you deserve it. Do I really want that? Cancers don't do that. Cancers feel something, they want someone, and they're like, that's what I want, that's what I'm gonna get. And then they go and they get after it, right? Without thinking about how it's gonna come off if they were to show their feelings. And I think that's one of the most courageous traits that Cancer has. Courage, really. It's what makes them, you know, the ultimate daters, or why they have such an easy time finding love, because they're bold with their feelings. And I think the universe rewards people like that. Okay, the next sign that we have is Leo. So for the fire signs, yeah, I picked Leo here. I also don't think anyone's shocked from that. When you think about Leo, you think of someone that is very, very passionate, someone that is 100% themselves all the time. And this, again, makes them a really good dater, because they don't feel the need to change anything. Like, whoever they're around, either you're gonna like me or you're not, right? And that makes you have a really quick bounce back game, right? When it comes to dating, or just even relationships, you know? When it comes to dating, I think it's really important, if you want to be a good dater, to have a good bounce back game, right? One bad date, you can't get in your head and then suddenly stop the rest of your dates, or suddenly give up on dating, right? And I think Leo has that energy of like, well, I know who I am and I know what I deserve. And if they didn't like me, or if the vibes were off, on to the next. And when you think about, you know, the fifth house of creativity and self-expression ruling over Leo, it also makes sense why they're such elite daters, or why they're so good at finding love. Because again, like Cancer, they're expressing themselves. And I think when you are expressing yourself and when you are leading with joy, it's really, really easy for you to be in spaces where you find love easily. You know what I mean? I think you don't want the person that you found when you were in a dark place or insecure. Like, you don't. Like, I'm not saying it can't happen and you can't find the love of your life if you're just a sad girl all the time and you're at your most depressed state. I'm just saying it probably doesn't happen often, and if it does, that's not the right person for you. Because bringing it back to people that are energetically on your level, vibrating at your level, if you're in a sad, dark, depressed place and you're begging for love and the universe is like, fine, here you go, you think that person's gonna be your person? I feel like there's a really, really low chance of that person being your forever person, or the person that's always gonna make you happy. You know what I mean? So where I'm getting at is that with Leos, right? Because ultimately, the baseline for Leo is joy. They're always usually in a good mood, you know, it's the sun, right? So a lot of times it's really easy for them to date and to find love because they're leading with that joyous energy. They're leading with that energy of, I'm great, I can't wait to find someone great. And already the universe is gonna be hearing you, your energy when you're saying that, and it's gonna attract people to you, right? I think it's all about attraction. And I don't mean like finding people attractive, I mean like actual attraction, right? being magnetic, right? That's how you're a good dater. That's how you find people that, you know, change your life, right? Because you are being so authentic that you're literally pulling in people that are obsessed with you and that want you, that see you, right? And those are the kind of people that you want to date and you want to be around, right? Because they can't help but look at you and feel like there is this pull between the two of you. And I think when that happens, that's when the relationship, if it progresses into a relationship, will be the most successful because you are so authentic and you are being yourself and you are leading with joy and you're in a good place in your life. So of course, someone great is going to come into your life that matches that energy. And much like a lot of other things when it comes to manifestation, it's about knowing that you deserve it. And I think Leos, you know, that confidence, it gets them a lot of the good things in their life, right? A lot of opportunities, a lot of good people, right? Because when you are confident, truly, truly confident, and you know you deserve everything that you're asking for, you're going to continuously be in places where those things are easily available to you. And I think one thing that Leo and Libra have in common is also Leo, because they're such, you know, confident creatures. Words of affirmations, that's their thing. So again, it comes back to dating. And when you're good at hyping people up, when you're good at being interested in what they have to say, Libra, you are going to always be killing it in the dating game and in the relationship game, if it is a game. Well, I mean, it kind of is, you know, because ultimately you're really good at making people feel special. And when you're good at making people feel special, you are always going to have an advantage in the dating game, right? Because you're the type of person that people remember, right? They're gonna remember the way that you made them feel. And I think Leos, that's how people feel about them. Finally, we have Taurus. I mean, I feel like I didn't do this on purpose, but of course both of the Venus ruled signs have to be here, right? Like it would be crazy if they weren't. To me, Taurus's reasonings are like so different than the rest. And here is why. For me with Taurus, even though I can already give you the rebuttal, I already know the people that are going to disagree with Taurus are going to be like, what? Taurus? What do you mean they're so stubborn or they're so particular? You know, yes, sure, right? They're this fixed earth sign. Sure. But they have a really easy time finding love because they're at ease. You know what I mean? Because when you think of Taurus, you think of someone that loves their life because they've created these routines and things that make them feel safe, right? Things that make them feel good. They have their routines, right? So I think a lot of times because they're leading with that energy of look how much I have and I feel good about what I have, they can also really, really magnetize their ability to find love because that's the energy they're giving out is like, yeah, I have these great things and I'm really, really good here, right? I'm good over here because I have everything I want, right? And then they find people easily because of that, right? But my main thing with Taurus and dating and finding love and having an easy time finding love is that they're not the types to waste people's time or really their own time. That's the main priority here. They're not the types to waste their own time. And you're probably thinking, well, Capricorn isn't the type to waste their own time. We're not talking about Capricorn because Capricorn, if it was up to Capricorn, dating would be like job interviews. Like, do you have the credentials? You know what I mean? But when it comes to Taurus, because they're still Venus ruled, they are looking for that companionship. They are looking for, you know, the person that brings this sense of security for them that's not tangible, right? So Taurus, you know, when they're dating, they already know if they like you or not. Like, I don't think there is anyone else that you could get the clearest signal from if they're not into you, right? They don't feel the need to waste people's times, but I will say it's quality over quantity with Taurus. Like, I'm just gonna say it, like, you guys fall in love like twice in your life, if maybe even once, you know? These people are very, very loyal and they know what they like. And if they choose you, if Taurus chooses you, you are their soulmate probably forever. And if they marry someone else, you're still probably their soulmate. No, not all the time, obviously. I want you guys to find your actual soulmates. But yeah, when it comes to Taurus, I also feel like they're really good at making people feel emotionally safe, you know? And I think Tauruses can get the rep of like, well, what do you mean? They don't share how they're feeling all the time, but you feel how they're feeling all the time. You will always feel if Taurus is good with you or not, right? And they're an earth sign, so that may be confusing if you are getting into astrology, but that's the thing with Taurus. Like, why do you think the moon is exalted in Taurus, right? The moon loves to be in Taurus because it feels safe and emotionally regulated. So I think that's another reason why Tauruses may have, you know, an easy time dating and finding love, because they're good at creating that sense of safety and groundedness in relationships. And I think a lot of people are looking for that. So if you have a Taurus in your life, or if your partner's a Taurus, and they're great, because we're talking about the good side of every sign, then you probably feel like they provide this sense of safety for you, and they just make life feel more comfortable. They're really good at making stressful situations feel more relaxed, right? Who doesn't really want that, right? In a relationship, I think they also have this mysterious thing going on. And Scorpio, we have the mystery thing down, right? The sister sign of Taurus, but the Taurus mystery is different. It hits different in dating, because although Taurus is mysterious and less is more with them, and they're not always going to be the ones that are talking your ear off, but still, because they're mysterious, but they still bring this sense of like comfort to the relationship, people can't help but gravitate towards them and the feelings that they bring out in them, right? People genuinely like themselves more when they're around Taurians, because if it's a Taurus that loves you and is operating at their highest vibration, they are almost regulating your nervous system because of how they're choosing to react or not react to situations. You can't help but look at Taurus and be like, wow, I really like that side of you. I really enjoy how calm you are in so many stressful situations. So I think because of that, they definitely stand out in the dating world. And a lot of people can't get enough of that Taurus energy. All right, you guys, and that is the end of the video. Let me know if I talked about your sign, if I talked about your moon sign, your Venus sign. Let me know if it hit for you. And let me know if you want me to make, I don't even know if I make it though. I was gonna say, let me know if you want me to make zodiac signs that have the hardest time finding love. I don't know if the internet is ready for that. I don't know if you guys are ready for that, because people's feelings are gonna get hurt. But yeah, let me know if you want it. Maybe I'll just take a risk. Maybe I'll just like slide it into a Yap Therapy episode. So you'll just know if it's there, you know? Let me know how you guys like the video. Don't forget to comment. And I love you guys so much. Again, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later this week for Yap Therapy. Bye.